Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to make a video going over my 23andMe. If you know me pretty well, you know that I'm pretty passionate about my 23andMe. It was a way of finding out a piece of me that I felt like was missing throughout my life. I grew up in the kind of family where we didn't really have contact with extended family. There's a lot of tea and history of why it's like that I'm not gonna get into. But in taking this ancestry, genetics, spit in the tube test thing, it really gave me like more perspective of where we come from and more pride. My family is very multicultural, I would say, in terms of like stuff that we do. Like I grew up knowing like Spanish words for things that like if you asked me to tell you what it is in English, I would have to think about it. We speak like 3 different languages to my dog. We have a bunch of different cultured food all the time. Food that was normal for me wasn't normal for other people. Like every time I say I've never had a grilled cheese, people give me the like,
what?
Look, but like it's true. So I kind of wanted to show what my 23andMe looks like. Obviously this isn't sponsored because I'm not like a huge thing on YouTube. Here is my 23andMe and let's look at my ancestry. That rhymed. I want to look at like my different populations is what they call them, and kind of explore the culture, maybe learn some of the language on good old Google Translate, and let's get started. So this is my map. This is my beautiful colorful map, and it was recently updated, so obviously I'm just gonna look at the after update section. I would say the 23andMe is probably like between 90 and 100% accurate. Obviously my biggest chunk is the purple, Western Asian and North African. This started out as like a low 50% when I first did this and has since updated and gotten a lot higher. I can thank my dad for that because he is 100% Western Asian and North African. He took the test and his family stayed in like Iraq and like that area, which makes sense. And right here you can see all these like specific regions, which as confirmed by my dad makes sense. So they're pretty accurate with that. But I'm gonna click on my biggest percentage, 53.8% of Iranian, Caucasian, and Mesopotamian. And they tell you like a bit of history, and they right here they show you like in the last 200 years your ancestors may have lived in the following locations, which is true. In Nineveh
Governorate.
Oh, you mean that Nineveh? That Nineveh wasn't in Israel at all. It was the capital of Assyria, and it was the biggest, meanest city around.
Yeah, because that's where Baghdad is, right? No, Mosul. I think my dad's parents are from there. Don't quote me on that. I don't really know much. They show you like natural wonders, which that's really pretty. And they teach you a little bit of a language of that area. So here they have Persian. So Gorbone Beram. Literally translated means, may I be sacrificed for you. Although the sentiment might sound dramatic, it's popularly used to convey fondness and appreciation for another. Y'all, may I be sacrificed for you. And then they talk about like celebration, craft and tradition, some food stuff, pomegranate. I don't personally like pomegranates, so. The next in this Northwestern Asian section is Cypriot, which I believe is kind of like the Greek-Turkish thing, which is accurate, and that is probably from my mom's dad, so my grandpa. And it says they're working to identify more of this, so yeah, it's been a little iffy on the whole Greek thing on 23andMe. They've been really like bipolar in terms of telling me, yes, you're Greek, and then stripping away a huge part of my identity, and then the next update says, no, you're not. So it's been a little confusing. My family is so proud to be Greek. We're not, you know, my big fat Greek wedding, have the Greek flag on the garage Greek, but if you go to my grandparents' house, whom I call Yaya and Papuli, grandma and grandpa, in Greek, you will find Greek memorabilia in at least every room. We are so proud to be Greek. We are Greek, and we use Windex. So looking at Cypriot, Cyprus, I really feel like this is the Greek, it's the Greek-Turkish thing. It has to be. Walk in Aphrodite's footsteps, that's beautiful. See, they have the Greek language here, so we'll look at some Greek language. Philoxenia? I'm assuming it's philoxenia. Literally translated as hospitality. It's more like a genuine friendliness towards strangers. I'm trying to think if I've ever heard my grandpa say this thing. Let's go to Google Translate. English to Greek. Hi.
Oh my.
My name is Lexi, which Lexi's a Greek name. I'm telling you, we have to be Greek. And if we're not Greek, myself, my mom, my grandpa, we're gonna have an identity crisis. Nice to meet you.
Και το όνομα μου είναι Λέξη. Χαίρομαι που σε γνωρίζω.
Το όνομα μου είναι Lexi. Χαίρομαι που σε γνωρίζω. Let's learn something useful.
Θα πλήρωνα τον χάρη στυλ για να με χτυπήσεις το πρόσωπο.
Θα πλήρωνα τον χάρη στυλ για να με χτυπήσεις το πρόσωπο.
Useful!
Then we go specifically into Arab, Egyptian, and Levantine, comprising modern-day Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Israel, and Palestine, has been an artery of migration between Africa and Asia for over 100,000 years. Possibly Lebanese, they're saying they're working more to try and identify it. Some of this food looks familiar. Habibi. So my dad actually calls us Habibi. He says Habibiti, which is kind of like the cutened version of it. Let's look at some Arabic language. Hi. I'm gonna do a shorter sentence because the first one, I was struggling and I don't know how to pronounce these things. My dad's like,
It's in you.
but like, it's not. I'm sorry. It is, like, genetically, but like my voice can't get there, man. I'm sorry.
مرحبا اسمي لكسي.
Marhaban asmi Lexi.
مرحبا اسمي لكسي.
It's me.
Oh god, if my dad watches this, he's gonna hate me.
It's me! Lexi! Oh my god!
Alright, let's try something else.
هل يستطيع هاري ستايلز لكمانيا في وجهي من فضلك؟
هل يستطيع هاري ستايلز لكماني في وجهي من فضلك? I hope I'm not accidentally saying something that is going to offend anybody, because then I'm
Screwed.
Alright, we're moving down into European. And this one especially changed since the last update from what I remember. It says that I'm 24.9% Southern European. And they really upped me on the Spanish and Portuguese. This all comes from my mom's side, particularly my grandma. So let's look at the Spanish and Portuguese. I'm more acquainted with my Spanish heritage. I would say I'm almost there in fluency, but I'm not as good at speaking it as I am in understanding it. It talks about art, which I really want to go to Spain. It's giving me Airbnbs to go to. All right, sobremesa, I know this. The act of chatting with people around the table after a meal, enjoying both good food and good company. Indeed, Let's look at some Spanish. Let's do some Spanish, even though I already know how to do it. We'll do some harder things in Spanish, like,
Estoy grabando esto durante las finales cuando debería estar estudiando. Ups.
Estoy grabando esto durante las finales cuando debiera estar estudiando.
Oops.
Harry Styles se ve mejor con ese vestido que la mayoría de la gente.
Harry Styles se ve mejor con ese vestido que la mayoría de la gente. As you can see, I am well versed in Spanish. I've never tried Portuguese though, and I think I probably do have some Portuguese.
Olá, meu nome é Alex e eu deveria estar estudando para os exames.
Huh?
Hola, meu nome é Lexi. Deveria estar estudando para os exames. Portuguese is difficult. It's like, I can tell what it's like saying, but it's hard to pronounce for me. Next we have Northwestern European, which is
British and Irish. What if I'm related to Harry Styles?
That's fun. Going up to East Asian and Native American. So the Native American is like the Mexican, which is really from both of my mom's parents. I'm not entirely sure which tribe could be within us. Then we have Filipino and Austronesian. Now, this, we don't even need a test to prove it. It's from my mom's mom. But my mom's mom will not take the test. And she will not admit that there is any hint of Asian in her. But like, listen, y'all, okay? Until I took this test, like maybe 3 years ago, throughout my whole childhood, I would look at my yaya, my grandma, and I would just be like,
She looks Asian to me.
like, I know she's she's Mexican, like,
I know.
and Spanish, like,
I know.
but like,
She looks Asian to me.
it's the nose and it's the eyes. And I never said anything because I thought that people were gonna like, my family members would be like, are you
Stupid?
But then I took this test.
And I knew, man. I knew.
Believe that they definitely went from like the Philippines area, Austronesian area, and made their way to Mexico somehow. I mean, it's pretty sick. It's Tagalog, right? Gigil. The kind of excitement that comes with goosebumps or a chill down your spine. Can also be an irresistible urge to squeeze something cute. Yo, I got that urge every time I see my dog. I would like to travel to all of these countries just to like immerse myself in there. And then I have 1.7% Sub-Saharan African, which is comprised of Congolese and Southern East African and West African. That is really interesting. I think this also comes from my mom's mom, my grandma, and a little bit from my grandpa. Now it shows an ancestry timeline, so it shows in like the last several like centuries when I've had, or when I approximately have had someone in my ancestral line who was of this population like 100%. So like, for example, the most recent one is the Iranian and Caucasian one that says you most likely had a parent or a grandparent who was 100%. That's my daddy, and he was born in between this time. And then it goes back, and it's just so weird, like just to take a minute and be like, wow, like someone who is related to me existed in these times and they were from these places like 100%. Like it's just so weird. And like it makes you like almost want to take world history again and just kind of like refresh your memory and see like how some of these populations collided. And then it shows you a little graph here of like what you inherited from your parents. So like, look at my dad. Poor thing. I always tell him like, your 23andMe is so boring. Like you're just one color, and coincidentally it's purple, which is his favorite color. And like my mom's is all colorful and fun. Like my dad literally was like, here's the Western Asian North African. And my mom was like,
add a little bit of spice.
Something else we can look at now that we're here is we can talk about like traits. If you do 23andMe, you have an option to opt into like health reports and like traits. Health predispositions.
Oh no!
We're just gonna forget that we saw that. We can look at the wellness report. Alcohol flush reaction. Getting red in the face after drinking a small amount of alcohol. Yeah, I can't really confirm or deny. Caffeine consumption, likely to consume more. I find this to be funny because I don't consume caffeine at all in terms of just like straight up coffee. Like I hate coffee. Lactose intolerant, likely intolerant. Used to not be, but now I am. And it's only for like specific things. Like that's what I don't understand. What's next? The traits. These are fun. It's fun to compare with people. It says cheek dimples. My genetics predict that I have a 39% chance of having dimples and a 61% chance of not. I have like tiny babies, like super tiny babies. It's not like, you know, Harry Styles' perfection of dimples. Do you have detached earlobes or do you not? I have detached ones. Earwax type, that's kind of nasty, but I'll just say it's accurate and move on. Eye color, 31% chance of dark brown eyes. That is true. But apparently a lot of babies are just born with like blue eyes and then they change. Like that's how I was apparently, which is like shook. Like my dad has blue eyes and I'm just like, why didn't I keep that?
Like, I would have looked so bomb.
Finger length ratio. So it predicts that my index finger is longer than my ring finger, which is accurate. And I didn't know that this could be different. I always thought that everyone's index finger was longer, but it's not. Hair photo bleaching, 70% chance I experience hair photo bleaching. So that, if you don't know, is when like the sun like changes your hair color. That happens for me. My hair goes back to being more of a strawberry blonde, which was the original setting. 39% chance, very fair skin. That is what we have, ladies. Can we see our veins?
Absolutely.
Do we look like the sun on earth when it's like summertime and I'm wearing shorts?
Yes.
Cilantro taste aversion, slightly higher odds of disliking cilantro.
It tastes like soap.
And you can't tell me otherwise. That and parsley. Like, people aren't talking about parsley. They should talk about parsley because both taste like soap. I am Mexican and I know we're supposed to be eating cilantro. I don't like it at all. If it's in something, I know it because it tastes like someone just got some freaking Dawn soap and went because it's so gross. It tastes like soap and no one understands in my family and it's so hard. Ability to match musical pitch. More likely to be able to match musical pitch. That's true. I would put a song in here and match it if, you know, copyright wouldn't attack me. Flat feet. Less likely than average to have flat feet. Again,
A falsehood.
I have orthotic shoes that I wear inside my house. My chanclas are orthotics. Does that make them more intimidating? I don't know. Misophonia, average odds of hating chewing sounds. Absolutely loathe them. Like, I hate gum, but I also hate more people chewing gum around me. Mosquito bite frequency, likely bitten more often than others. Facts. Thanks for taking a little deep dive onto my 23andMe. I hope that this was kind of fun to look at. Not only just me exploring my ancestry like a crazy person, but the traits. Maybe you got to compare something about you. Maybe this will lead to some interesting family conversations of whose ring finger is longer than their index finger, because it surely has led to an interesting epiphany in my family that that's not all the same. Maybe this will inspire you to try it. I feel like it's a really fun thing to do, and just to compare with family and kind of like keep that like history going. I feel like whether you do have a close relationship with your family or not, it is interesting to see where the family tree has gone, especially before like any older generation members, you know, aren't able to get this test. It's just such a nice thing to like capture. I'm sure for like older generations who knew relatives much older than you that you never could know, you know, they can look at these things and be like, yeah, your great whoever did come from here. So I don't know, I think it's really cool. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will be trying to make more videos during this month and during my break. So thank you, bye.